Now we're going to talk about another concept that's incredibly useful throughout the piloting routine, and that's the concept of constants. Many of you have probably heard of this, but all it does is provide us additional information as we approach a turn to help us turn on time. Of course, with VMS, we have a great tool that'll count down the turn for us, but it's always good to back up what VMS is doing, or if we're not ECTA certified, for example, we need to figure out how to turn on time without relying on VMS to do it for us. So here we can do that by taking constants. In this case, we're going to take constants off a visual NAVAID as we approach a turn. So our first course here, we're on 0, 0, 0 degrees true, and we're making a turn to starboard to 0, 4, 5 degrees true. And we've done some chart prep already. We have our slide bar plotted right here. And we also have a turn bearing laid out to this arrow tower right here, and a turn range to Beagle Point, which is probably somewhere up here to the north of us. Our turn bearing is going to be 080 degrees true or 080 degrees relative, as we are on 000 degrees true as our course. And then the turn range would be something that we could measure with our radar as well. But here what we're looking at is the constants using our visual range. We've also prepped the chart with our distances to turn: 100 yards, 200 yards, 300, 400, 500, and 600 yards to turn. So as we approach the turn, what we can do is ask our bearing taker, in this case on the starboard side, to take a look at that arrow tower and let us know what it bears. Let's say they take a look and they let us know that the arrow tower bears 070 degrees true. We can take that and we can plot it on our chart. Let's say it plots and it lands right along this line that we have right here. Assuming that we are right on track, we're not left or right of track, that plotting that single LOP tells us we have about 450 yards to turn, right? We're right between that 400 and that 500 hash mark that we've made on our chart in advance. So we can use that single LOP to give us an approximate range to turn. We don't have time to lay a whole fix, but we can still get down one single LLP that provides enough situational awareness to prepare us to make that turn. Let's say about a minute later, we ask the bearing taker to take a look at arrow tower again, and they say arrow tower bears 074 degrees true, right? We're getting closer to our turn bearing of 080, but we're not there yet. So let's say we plot 074 degrees true, and we end up along this line right here. And now we know that we're about 250 yards to turn. And we can call that out, let our bridge team know, hey, we're getting closer and closer to this turn, right? 250 yards to turn. We can continue that process all the way up to when the bearing taker calls out, hey, arrow tower bears 080 degrees true. And we know that's when we need to put our rudder over to turn on time. And it's important to note that that would only be a perfect situation in which we start out on track. We have that slide bar prepared because we want to account for the possibility that we are left or right of track. And if that is the case, then we do need to adjust slightly and understand that we may need to turn a little bit earlier. For example, if we are left of track and we want to regain track, we would turn closer to this part of the slide bar if we're left of track right here. Or if we're right of track, we might want to turn a little bit later, so that turn bearing won't be perfectly accurate. So something to think about, but this does provide us a great way of making sure that we have good essay on approximately where the ship is, even if we don't have time to take a fix. One last tool that you have in your toolbox to enhance your situational awareness that isn't very frequently used is the fathometer. Many of you might know that per the NAVDOR, the navigator must compare the charted sounding at every fixed position with the fathometer reading. That's part of the standard navigation report if that's something that you are required to give on your ship, depending on your CO's preference. you should, or you may include the phrase fathometer concurs with charted depth or does not concur. It's worth paying attention to this information, and certainly you want to highlight if there is a discrepancy between what you have as the charted depth on your chart or on your VMS display with what you're seeing on your fathometer. That's certainly something you want to bring to your CO's attention because it may be the last means by which you can see if your ship is standing into danger. It's very easy to get complacent with assuming that the fathometer is always going to show what you expect, but it's definitely something you need to pay attention to because even if everything else looks good, your fathometer may indicate something else. And that is our piloting lecture. Throughout the course of these videos, we talked about all the steps that you need to take to prepare for a piloting evolution, digging into each and every one of those pubs, doing your research, preparing an appropriately informative nav brief to make sure that you are not the only one aware of all of the nuances of a particular port and navigating through that port. And then we talked about the actual process of piloting, what it looks like to take fixes during piloting, and some piloting procedures, including constants, and how we evaluate some of those LOPs as they come in. Nice work, everyone. Hopefully this was a great introduction to get you started on what piloting looks like. And like I mentioned, we're going to build on a lot of these skills in the chart lab and then the VMS lab before we transition into our cove scenarios.